What if I told you the audio leak was only the beginning? And now there's video. That's right, the culture just got hit with its most explosive scandal yet. Because Jim Jones didn't just talk, he showed receipts. Out of nowhere, a grainy but damning clip surfaced online, allegedly leaked straight from Jim himself, showing Chrissy's husband in a late-night secret meeting that was never supposed to see daylight. The video isn't polished, it isn't staged, dead straw, shaky, and terrifyingly real. And in those few seconds, the world saw something that could flip the entire narrative upside down. This isn't just drama anymore. This is betrayal caught on tape. Imagine the scene: a dimly lit lounge, voices muffled in the background, and Chrissy's husband leaning in close with men nobody expected him to be connected to. The camera pans, and just when you think it's nothing, one of the faces comes into focus and the internet immediately froze. Fans swear they recognized a figure tied to Jim's circle, someone Chrissy's husband should never have been around. That's when the chaos erupted. Twitter is on fire. Blogs are dissecting every frame. TikTok has slowed the clip down second by second, circling faces and amplifying whispers. And now, questions are swirling faster than anyone can answer. Was he meeting? Why was he hiding it? And most importantly, how long has Jim been sitting on this footage waiting for the perfect time to drop it? Because if this is just the first clip, then what's next could destroy everything Chrissy thought she built. The internet thought the leaked audio was enough to set the culture on fire. But what dropped next turned the smoke into a full-blown inferno. Because while the world was still dissecting every word, Jim Jones spat backstage. He quietly upped the ante with something no one saw coming: video proof. That's right. A shaky, grainy, late-night clip surfaced online, allegedly leaked straight from Jim himself. And it has already been described as career-ending by insiders who claim they've seen the uncut version. The video is barely a minute long, but it feels like a bomb detonating in slow motion. It starts innocently: Chrissy's husband walking into a dimly lit lounge with his hood pulled low. No entourage, no fanfare, no Chrissy by his side. At first, it looks like nothing more than a man out for a drink. But then the camera pans, zooming in on the table where he sits. Two men slide into the booth with him, their faces hidden in the shadows. For a moment, the video feels like a bad spy movie. But then one of the faces turns, and the culture collectively gasps. Because the man Chrissy's husband is leaning in to whisper with isn't some random stranger. Fans swear it's a figure tied directly to Jim Jones' own circle, a former affiliate who fell out with the rapper years ago over money and loyalty. The recognition was instant. Blogs pulled up old screenshots. Fans posted side-by-side photos. From Dipset's heyday comparing jawlines, hairlines, and tattoos. The conclusion spread like wildfire. Chrissy's husband was caught on camera breaking bread with someone who was once part of Jim's family and, according to whispers, someone Jim had long considered an enemy. The clip itself doesn't have clear audio, but that didn't stop the internet from playing detective. Within hours, TikTok creators had uploaded slowed-down versions with captions attempting to read the conversation. One theory claimed Chrissy's husband could be seen mouthing the words "business deal." Another insisted he said, "Keep it quiet." No one knows for sure, but the ambiguity only fueled the flames. The mystery was the story and the fact. Jim himself allegedly leaked the footage, turned it into a cultural earthquake. Insiders say Jim has been sitting on this clip for months, maybe even years, waiting for the right moment to strike. The leaked audio exposed his heartbreak and his rage, but this video? This was a chess move, a power play. Proof that he wasn't just venting in the heat of betrayal, he was collecting receipts, waiting for the perfect time to pull the trigger. And now that it's out, the fallout is already spiraling out of control. Blogs immediately plaster the video across their homepages. Headlines screamed, "Jim Jones strikes back with shocking video Chrissy's Husband caught meeting Jim's old enemy, love and hip-hop drama, gets darker secret footage, surfaces Twitter threads stretched into the thousands. Fans breaking down every second of the video like it was the Zapruder film. Why he in the shadows like that? One user asked. Another tweeted, that ain't no regular drink up. That's plotting energy. Within hours, hashtag secret meeting and hashtag Jim got receipts were trending worldwide. But here's where things got even messier. According to an anonymous production insider, the video wasn't filmed by Jim himself, but by someone tied to VH1's crew. The source claimed that Jim had demanded copies of unused footage after one of his tense negotiations with producers, and this clip somehow ended up in his possession. If true, that means Jim may have been sitting on unreleased production material, this whole time using it as a weapon in his personal war. Whether that's legal or not is a whole other story. But in the world of reality TV, legality rarely matters more than clicks and chaos. And chaos is exactly what followed. Chrissy's husband, who had already been struggling to defend himself after the audio leaks, was suddenly thrown back into the fire. Fans demanded answers. Who were those men? Why was he meeting them in secret? And why did the clip feel so much like a setup? Was Jim lurking in the shadows the whole time, waiting to frame him? Or was this simply the mask slipping off a moment that revealed who Chrissy's new husband really is? The memes were brutal. One viral post showed a split screen of the video next to a mafia movie still, captioned, "Chrissy's man out here acting like Tony Soprano while Jim crying in the booth." Another showed Chrissy flashing her wedding ring next to the video freeze frame with the caption, "This the piece she chose." Fans weren't holding back. The culture had turned the secret meeting into both a punchline and a scandal, and the husband couldn't seem to win on either front. Meanwhile, Jim stayed eerily quiet. He didn't confirm the leak. He didn't deny it. He simply posted a cryptic message on Instagram. "All receipts ain't paper. Some come with faces." That was it. One line, one post, and the internet lost its collective mind. Was he threatening to release more footage? Was there an even longer version of the meeting? Or was this just the first drop in a flood of evidence Jim had been stockpiling? Insiders close to Jim claim he's furious not just because Chrissy moved on, but because of who she moved on with. Jimmy ain't mad she got married. One alleged friend told a gossip blog. He mad she married him. Dude been around, been lurking, been waiting. And now Jimmy's saying if she chose him, then everybody needs to know who he really is. And that's what makes this video so dangerous. If the man in the clip really is tied to Jim's old circle, then Chrissy's husband isn't just some random love interest. He's part of a bigger, darker story, a story of betrayal, loyalty, and secrets that go back years. And if Jim is willing to leak video footage, who knows what else he's holding back? The culture is already bracing for the next shoe to drop. Twitter detectives are scouring the background of the clip, circling faces, identifying locations, and speculating about dates. One theory suggests the video wasn't even recent, that it could have been filmed years ago, back when Chrissy was still with Jim. If that's true, then the betrayal cuts even deeper. Was Chrissy's husband plotting with Jim's enemies while she was still living under Jim's roof? Was this marriage the endgame of a plan that had been unfolding for nearly a decade? The speculation is endless, but one thing is clear. This video has changed the game. It's no longer about Jim's heartbreak, or Chrissy's ring, or even the audio leak. It's about something bigger. Legacy, power, secrets that we're never meant to see. Daylight. And just when fans thought it couldn't get any messier, another bombshell dropped. A well-known gossip blogger claimed to have the full uncut tape and promised to release it within 48 hours. That's true, and what we've seen so far is just the tip of the iceberg, and the real explosion is yet to come. Which leaves us here, staring at a single burning question. If this is what Jim is willing to leak to the public, What kind of secrets is he still holding in the vault? And when the next clip surfaces, will Chrissy's marriage even survive the fallout? The cliffhanger is undeniable. We've only just seen the first frame of a scandal that could destroy reputations, flip alliances, and rewrite the legacy of everyone involved. And the worst part? Jim Jones is just getting started. The moment the video hit the internet, the culture went from gossip mode to full-blown investigative mode. What should have been a messy clip destined for a few meme cycles, the most viral clip wasn't even Jim's original leak. It was a fan-made CSI edit where someone slowed the footage down, adjusted the contrast, and claimed you could clearly see Chrissy's husband slip an envelope across the table to the shadowy man beside him. Was it cash, documents, a contract? No one knew for sure. But the theory exploded across the timeline. Chrissy's husband wasn't just meeting Jim's old enemy. He was doing business with him. That single idea lit the internet on fire. Forget the ring. One tweet read, "Chrissy's husband just married his way into Jimmy's enemies list." Another viral post bluntly asked, "Is this love or a hostile takeover?" Within hours, #EnvelopeGate started trending. Fans demanded the truth. What was in that envelope? And why was Chrissy's husband passing it to someone Jim once called family? Blogs and YouTubers jumped on the theory, each adding fuel to the fire. Some claimed the envelope contained money from shady business deals. Others speculated it was contracts tied to Chrissy's rumored projects, suggesting her new husband might be pulling strings behind the scenes to control her career. And then came the darkest theory, that Chrissy's husband was actively conspiring against Jim, cutting deals with his rivals to dismantle his legacy piece by piece. The noise became deafening, and VH1 producers couldn't ignore it anymore. According to an insider leak, an emergency production summit was held the very next morning. Executives were torn. Some wanted to lean in and craft a scandal into a full storyline, milking it for ratings. Others panicked, warning that the accusations swirling online, money laundering, betrayal, even conspiracy could expose the network to lawsuits if they didn't distance themselves immediately. But while VH1 debated, Jim Jones sat back and let the storm spread, offering no clarification. The silence itself became a weapon. Meanwhile, Chrissy's husband tried to take control of the narrative, and it backfired spectacularly late that night. He posted an Instagram story, a black background with white text reading, "Y'all really believe a grainy video over real life? Don't let haters trick you." It was supposed to be dismissive, maybe even cool. Instead, it turned him into a meme. One viral TikTok spliced his words with clips of the meeting, flashing neon text. "When the liar says, don't believe your eyes." Another Twitter post joked, "Bro, you not blurry. We see you." The backlash was merciless. Fans roasted him for not denying the meeting itself, only the interpretation of it. If it was nothing, one comment said, "Why even meet in the shadows? Why not do brunch in broad daylight?" And then someone dug deeper literally. A fan zoomed in on the background of the clip and claimed to recognize the lounge where the meeting took place. It wasn't just any Barrett, it was a spot in Harlem known for being a hub of old-school street deals. That revelation took the narrative, from messy gossip to sinister conspiracy in one swipe. Suddenly, fans weren't just questioning Chrissy's husband's loyalty, they were questioning his entire identity. Who is this man? One viral thread asked, racking up nearly 100,000 likes. People began pulling old public records, unearthing fragments of his past. A blurred mugshot circulated, though skeptics questioned its authenticity. Old Instagram comments surfaced, linking him to names and neighborhoods with complicated histories. Each new detail blurred the line between speculation and evidence. But in the court of public opinion, the verdict was already forming. This wasn't some innocent husband blindsided by gossip. This was a man with secrets. And that's when Jim Jones dropped his next bomb, without warning. He reposted a fan's clip of the meeting, but added his own caption. Told y'all, been around, been plotting. Now the world sees it too. Number 10. Names. No direct accusations. Just confirmation that the man in the video was exactly who Jim said he was. That post alone racked up hundreds of thousands of likes within hours, pushing the feud out of gossip blogs and into mainstream headlines. TMZ ran a segment. Complex published a breakdown. Even Rolling Stone picked it up, calling it the most explosive love and hip-hop scandal in years. But the real dagger came not from Jim or Chrissy's husband, but from an unexpected voice, Remy Ma. On her Instagram Live, Remy didn't name names, but her words were sharp. There's a reason why some people shouldn't sit at certain tables, she said, looking dead into the camera. 'Cause loyalty ain't in their blood. And when loyalty missing, betrayal inevitable. Fans instantly connected the dots. Was Remy shading Chrissy's husband? Was she backing Jim? Her comments were clipped, remixed, and replayed across social media, adding even more credibility to the idea that this wasn't just gossip, this was real betrayal, confirmed by those who knew the players personally. Meanwhile, Chrissy broke her silence in the most Chrissy way possible. Instead of posting a statement, she uploaded a glamorous photo of herself in a glittering gown, captioned, "Unbothered." On the surface, it looked like defiance, like she was refusing to let the narrative shake her. But fans weren't convinced. The comments section was brutal. "Unbothered. Sis." The whole internet digging up your husband's past. Now they wrote, "Unbothered until the next leak drops." And oh, the leaks were far from done. Just as the culture settled into debating whether the video was real proof of betrayal or just messy optics, an anonymous account uploaded a new clip. This time, the video was longer, nearly 2 full minutes. It showed not just the handshake and the envelope, but snippets of conversation, muffled but audible. The words were hard to make out, but one phrase cut through the static like a knife. "Jimmy can't know." That one line sent shockwaves across the internet. Clear enough to be understood, sinister enough to imply conspiracy. Husband really said Jimmy can't know? Then everything Jim had been warning about wasn't paranoia, was prophecy. The hashtags erupted again. Hashtag Jimmy can't know trended worldwide. Fans posted memes of Chrissy's husband in shadow, overlaid with captions like, "Plot twist, he's been the villain all along." Others dragged Chrissy herself, suggesting she either knew the truth and ignored it or was blind to the biggest betrayal of her life. Theories flew everywhere. Some fans claimed this was proof that her marriage was a long con. Others suggested VH1 itself orchestrated the leaks to boost ratings, with Jim as the willing accomplice. But the one question everyone kept coming back to was the same. What exactly was being kept from Jimmy? The panic inside VH1's production suite reportedly reached fever pitch. Another leaked email chain hit the blogs, allegedly showing execs debating whether to pull Chrissy and her husband from upcoming episodes altogether. One producer wrote, "This is no longer reality TV drama. This is liability." Another allegedly responded, "The genie's out. We can't stop it. Just let the story tell itself." But for Jim Jones, the story was far from over. He went live for just 2 minutes, staring dead into the camera. He didn't yell. He didn't rant. He just said, "That wasn't even the whole clip. Y'all ain't ready for the rest." Then he logged off. The internet froze. If what we've seen so far is just the beginning, then the rest could be catastrophic. For Chrissy, for her husband, for VH1, and maybe even for Jim himself. The cliffhanger is terrifyingly clear. If Jim leaks more, the truth won't just destroy reputations, could burn bridges, end marriages, and pull the curtain back on a decade of secrets the world was never supposed to see. By the time the second clip with that chilling phrase, "Jimmy can't know," made its rounds, the internet wasn't just talking, it was obsessing. People weren't sleeping. They were scrubbing through frames, trying to identify background voices, pausing at timestamps to match blurry silhouettes with known names in Jim's old circle. It wasn't just gossip. Anymore, it had morphed into a full-scale investigation, with fans acting like detectives and producers scrambling like lawyers. And right when everyone thought they'd seen the worst of it, Jim Jones reappeared and dropped the deadliest cliffhanger yet. That wasn't the whole clip. Y'all ain't ready for the rest. The reaction was nuclear. Twitter Spaces filled, with thousands of listeners dissecting his tone. Was he bluffing? Was there really more footage? So, what could possibly be on it that he hadn't already exposed? Insiders whispered that Jim had been holding on to this evidence for months, maybe even years, waiting for the perfect moment to burn Chrissy's husband to ash, okay? And when Chrissy walked down the aisle with another man, that was the trigger. Revenge wasn't just words anymore, it was receipts, video proof, and the kind of nuclear ammunition that could take down marriages, reputations, and networks in one blow. But here's where things took a sinister turn. Because while Jim's words stirred chaos online, Chrissy's husband wasn't sitting quiet anymore. Hours after Jim's ominous live, a shaky Instagram story popped up from his account. He was pacing, agitated, holding the phone too close to his face. His words cut sharp. "Y'all letting a bitter man dictate my life. That meeting ain't what you think it is. Jimmy been jealous for years, and now he pulling strings, editing clips, making me look like something I ain't. But let me be clear, if he dropped that so-called full video, I got footage too. Footage that'll ruin him." Boom! That one line flipped the narrative on its head. For the first time, Chrissy's husband wasn't just defending himself, he was threatening Jim back. Was he bluffing, or did he really have dirt on Jim Jones? The internet went crazy. Some fans immediately called cap, saying he was scrambling under pressure. Others speculated maybe this mystery husband wasn't just some background figure who married Chrissy. Maybe he really had ties, connections, and leverage the public didn't know about. Suddenly, this wasn't just Jim versus Chrissy's husband. This was war. And right on cue, the blogs poured gasoline on the fire. An anonymous account posted what they claimed was a transcript from the unreleased portion of the video. In it, Chrissy's husband is allegedly heard whispering, "When the money clears, she won't need him no more." That single sentence detonated across the culture. Was he talking about Chrissy? About Jim? Was the marriage itself part of some larger scheme involving money, control, and power? Nobody knew for sure, but the whispers were enough to send fans spiraling into conspiracy theories. TikTok detectives spun entire storylines. One viral theory claimed Chrissy's husband had been financially backing her lifestyle for years behind the scenes, slowly winning her over as Jim's influence waned. Another theory insisted the marriage was more strategic than romantic, a move to secure money and connections outside of Jim's reach. And then came the darkest theory of all, that Chrissy's husband had been working with Jim's old enemies for years, using Chrissy herself as the ultimate pawn in a revenge play. Through it all, Chrissy herself remained silent, painfully silent. Her Instagram page stayed polished and perfect. No comments about the scandal, no responses to the leaks. Fans weren't buying it. "This ain't unbothered." One viral tweet read, "This is guilty silence." Another wrote, "Sis, the house is on fire and you posting selfies." The silence became a statement in itself, and that statement only fueled more suspicion. But Jim wasn't done. Late that night, he went live again, this time for nearly 10 minutes. The energy was different. He wasn't pacing, he wasn't yelling. He was cold, calm, controlled. He looked into the camera and said, "Y'all think I'm bluffing? Told you there's more. And trust me, what I got ain't gossip. It ain't rumors. It's the kind of truth that end careers, end marriages, end legacies. They playing with me like I ain't got the whole movie." That clip y'all saw? That was the trailer. Wait till you see the film. The culture lost it. The comment section filled instantly. Fans begged him to release it. Memes flooded Twitter. Jim as a director, holding a film reel, Chrissy's husband in a movie poster with the title The Betrayal. But beneath the jokes was a chilling realization. Jim might actually be holding footage so powerful it could shatter everything. And then another leak. This time, didn't come from Jim. It came from an anonymous Reddit account that claimed to have access to the uncut file. They posted a blurred, muffled clip where Chrissy's husband is heard saying, "Keep it low. If Jimmy finds out, we lose everything." Fans erupted. The voice was distorted but recognizable enough that most believed it was real. That phrase, "we lose everything," was enough to push the narrative from messy gossip to outright scandal. What were they hiding that was so big? Losing everything was on the line. The fallout was immediate. VH1 producers, already panicking, reportedly pulled Chrissy and her husband from filming. A leaked email allegedly showed one exec writing, "We cannot air them until this blows over. Legal is advising total removal." Another exec fired back, "Blows over. This is the season. If we don't air it, fans will turn on us. If we do air it, lawsuits could bury us." The show's future itself was suddenly in jeopardy, caught between explosive ratings and catastrophic liability. Meanwhile, Chrissy's husband doubled down. He posted another clip on his Instagram, this time clearly defiant. "They painting me like a villain. But I ain't the one who wasted a woman's life for 15 years with no ring. Y'all worship a man who couldn't commit, and now he crying 'cause she chose better. Believe what you want. My wife's solid. My life's solid. And if Jimmy want war, I ain't scared." The bravado backfired again. Within minutes, fans flooded the comments with snake emojis, clown emojis, and relentless taunts. "Solid, bro. Your voice literally said Jimmy can't know," one wrote. Another added, "You can't talk about commitment when you in backrooms passing envelopes." And while the internet roasted him, Jim prepared his next strike. Screenshots circulated of him in the studio with cameras rolling. K, reportedly filming a tell-all documentary about the entire ordeal. Sources close to him claimed he was packaging the footage, the receipts, and even interviews with insiders into a full-blown expose. One insider teased, when it drops, it's over for them. Jim ain't just leaking clips anymore, he's making a whole production. By now, the culture wasn't asking if Jim would leak again. They were waiting for it. Blogs refreshed feeds every hour. Twitter threads speculated on timelines. TikTok countdowns went viral with captions like, "When Jim drops the final clip, street's gonna be in chaos." And through it all, Chrissy remained silent, posting nothing but curated fashion shots and cryptic captions like "Peace speaks louder than noise." But the silence only made the storm louder, because if the leaked video proved anything, it's that Jim Jones wasn't bluffing. He had footage, he had receipts, and he had the will to use them. And Chrissy's husband, no matter how loudly he protested, looked more guilty with every passing hour. The fans were no longer asking if the full truth would come out. They were asking when and how devastating it would be when it finally landed. The cliffhanger couldn't be sharper. The internet is now holding its breath, waiting for the next leak. Jim says he has the whole film. Chrissy's husband claims he has footage too.